Okay. I'm calling the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. We have two items that we need to add to the agenda. The first one is to set a public hearing to override the tax cap. Today is Wednesday, 9/11, and this is our regular board meeting at 6 p.m. So that'll be under new business number 2. Okay, the next item is, I'm sure a lot of you have already heard that, Jim Pfeiffer has passed away.
Yeah.
He was our, dog control officer for 30-some years, and he recently passed, and, just want to mention that, and condolences to his family. They were down, I think they're all downstate.
Yeah, I don't know if many are from around here, but
Yeah. So we appreciated his long-term service to the town of Canton as dog control officer.
and I expect he was probably still doing some down.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
At one point, he had a lot of them.
He's a good guy.
He had quite a few. So condolences to Jim Pfeiffer's family. All right, the first item on the agenda is Constitution Week proclamation. Every year, the Daughters of the American Revolution request that towns pass a proclamation. And so I would like to read that. Heidi, if you could pull it up. Town of Canton proclamation. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardians of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas the celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of the American Revolution. In 1955, the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution petitioned Congress to set aside September 17th through the 23rd annually to be dedicated for the observance of Constitution Week. The resolution was later adopted by the U.S. Congress and signed into public law on August 2nd, 1956 by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Whereas this year marks the 237th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary into the patriotic celebration which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, Mary Ann Ashley, by the virtue of authority vested in me as supervisor of the town of Canton, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed us through the guardians of our liberties. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Canton to be affixed this 11th day of September of the year 2024. So I'm gonna pass that down to Heidi, and Heidi, if tomorrow morning you put the seal on it, and then we'll mail that out. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes for the regular meeting of 8/14/24. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Correspondence, we have quite a few here. So the Debbie Storm local estimate repair for the town of Canton, our preliminary calculations have been submitted to the county. We had to do this special paperwork of $843. We're not done yet. But in order that we had to meet a timeline with the county, and the county is putting all the municipalities together, and they have to meet a threshold with the state. And then the state sends it to the feds, and then hopefully we meet the threshold so that reimbursement can be had. I'm not sure if it's 499,000. but I'm sure they have enough to submit. So, once that gets submitted and it's approved, then FEMA will be sending us additional paperwork. And we get the joy of filling all that out. That has to be more detailed as far as expenditures, but, I wanna thank Stephen and Christy for putting all that together. Because we had to count a lot of things in there.
If there's anything like that comes up later, like, if they're out. Wait a minute, this was damaged really bad too. Can we add to that? Or is it?
We can
this is
certainly
just-
add
this
when we get the
preliminary?
FEMA paperwork,
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah. But there was a quick turnaround on that. I also received the message from, Matt Denner, because people have been approaching me about the grants that are available. So people needed to go online and submit their preliminary damages. Only 190 people did that out of 110,000. The county did not qualify.
Mm,
So now, those 190 people are not eligible for the 50,000. I have contacted Scott Gray and asked him to look into this because I don't know that the general public was aware that they need to be vigilant and doing that paperwork online so that we can meet a threshold for those grants. So, Scott Gray is looking into that for us. It's disappointing. It really is. Okay, the Volunteer Transportation Center has sent a letter. They're requesting funding for 2025 of $1,800. So that'll be part of the budget packet. We received notice that St. Lawrence County Self-Insurance Plan's workers' comp annual premium rate has increased $7,200. So our total bill for next year will be $55,471. That'll be part of the budget discussion. Burnham Benefits Health Insurance has increased. They're projecting increases in health insurance costs, active employees between 10 and 15%. Retirees between 20 and 25%. Again, these are projections. Not happy about it, but we'll go from there, and that'll be part of the deliberations for budget. I'm sure some of you have seen this, the New York Forward, public open house is on 9/26 from 5:30 to 7:30. That's where the public can come and learn more about the projected proposals that have been submitted, for downtown. And I'm sure Lee will probably talk a little bit more about that, during her report. The church and community program, 50-year celebration coming up this Saturday from 11 to 3. And that's quite an accomplishment that they've been serving the public for 50 years. So I wanted to make sure that got in the record. We also received, Leslie Clark had, dropped off this, and so we're gonna enter it into the record. It's to the town board. This information is submitted to be read into the minutes of the town board meeting of 9/11. Thank you. Sincerely, Leslie Clark. She's submitting this letter from Margaret Mouch regarding No Dogs Left Behind. I believe you all got a copy of this via email already. So this was from Margaret Mouch to the planning board, to the town board, to our town attorney, to our code enforcement officer. And this is what it said. From Margaret Mouch, subject, No Dogs Left Behind, September 8th at 10:28 PM. Hope you had a good summer. The noise from the No Dogs Left Behind kennel continues and has gotten louder and more persistent as of late. That is most likely because there was an importation of approximately 60 animals on July 16th. 6 of those animals were cats. So in their defense, I don't think they have added to the barking. Perhaps you are interested in adopting a cat or 2 from China. If not, and you feel generous, Jeffrey Berry has announced on social media recently that they have run out of dog food at the Canton facility. Please donate. By comparing the current list of dogs licensed to Jeffrey Berry against the No Dogs Left Behind website listing of dogs available for adoption in the USA, specifically in Canton. It appears that there are 50 dogs belonging to Mr. Berry that have not been licensed at the kennel. There are 12 dogs listed up for adoption that are already licensed and 14 dogs that are licensed that are not listed as being available for adoption. Perhaps 76 in total, question mark. The first 6 dogs, and maybe the 7th dog, on the unlicensed list are the Australian Shepherds that are from the house fire in Messina that happened on May 20th, 2024. According to my communications with the New York State Agriculture and Markets, dogs harbored at a kennel are required to be licensed. Am I to understand that Mr. Berry is not aware of the requirement to license these dogs? This is a low bar for No Dogs Left Behind, and at least this organization of international renown can do without having to be reminded by the town that this is required. Licensing is also a means of revenue for the town mandated by the state. Presenting proof of rabies vaccination is an important part of protecting the public, farm animals, and wildlife in our area. Or is the town going to allow No Dogs Left Behind to do whatever it wants regardless? Whatever it wants to do regardless. Horses are next. The fence is going up. I'm gonna submit that to Heidi for the record. Okay, next item on the agenda is town finances, reports. I'm not sure if she's,
I'm here.
oh,
She's on.
oh. There she is. Hi,
Hi, how is everyone?
okay. Go ahead, Angela.
Good evening, thank you. We have prepared the August 31st year-to-date financial statements, which represents the first 2/3 of the year. And in reviewing the reports, the major categories of spending are in line with budget at about 67% of budget. In the general fund, we will continue to receive some revenue to come into that fund, one of which is our aid to municipalities, in which Canton was awarded and may have recently received $6,675 of extra temporary assistance. So we will be seeing that coming into the general fund. All of the funds, with the exception of town out, which that is explainable in the details, are operating in a surplus. And one of the items to note in the DB fund is we will continue to receive sales tax for that as well. Regarding the cash position of the town, it's very similar to year-over-year comparison, and about 11% of your cash is restricted. So are there any questions?
I just would like to add, we did receive the Pave New York and the POP money today. Pave New York, approximately 76,000, and POP 50,000, around 50,000, a little over that. We did receive that today, so that's good news. We will have to do a budget amendment to add the revenues in as well. So we had already received the CHIPS money and the EWR money, so you can see that in the let me see, the DB account that we had already received CHIPS and EWS, excuse me. So that should satisfy our budget now for that state aid. Does anybody have any questions about the financial report? Okay, how about town clerk?
For the town clerk for the month of August, we did reconcile this as well. As Heidi, I'm sure, is going to report, the main activity in the month of August is the sales of hunting licenses, which is up 8% over prior year. Total revenue to the town of Canton for the month of August is $3,500 approximately. And year to date, the town of Canton has collected just under $76,000 from the town clerk. And this is a reduction over prior year, mostly related to the sale of solar permits. The revenue from those items has decreased in 2020. when compared to 2020.
Oh, you're cutting out, Angela.
I was just saying that the revenue year over year has decreased, but from the clerk to the town, but it is related to the sale of solar permits. So everything looks good in the town clerk's finances.
Heidi, did you want to add anything?
No.
All right, any board member have any questions of Angela regarding that? All right, thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Audit committee.
Okay. General A, 68,327.44. Town outside B, 40,236.89. DA townwide highway, 5,952.84. DB part town highway, 124,369.65. Special fire, 45 or 4,588.83. Special lighting, 294.45. And TA trust agency, 20,425.10.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the expenditure.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, department reports. Heidi?
I don't really have too much to report on. We uploaded the Canton Central School taxes into the program on August 29th, and we're collecting a little over $11 million. And that's been going good so far. DC's going well. We do get a couple people that are concerned about the paper licenses, but you know, there's nothing we can do about that, but they're still coming and getting them, so. Next month, when we send out the agenda to the e-blast people, we're gonna include the e-notification link on our website so that the community can sign up for e-notifications versus us sending out the agendas. And when they sign up with e-notification, they'll also get, with this page particularly, they'll get notifications with minutes, agendas, when I upload the recordings, and then I also believe it's the public packet information. So that'll be included in our next email with the agenda. So we're asking that the community utilize that feature on our new website. And then just the Communications and Technology Committee, we met on August 22nd, and we ordered extra cords for both owls and a couple extra dongle adapters for our laptops and the owls. And that's it. Unless I missed something about communications. No.
So if a community member wants to get a copy of the agenda, if they sign up on the website, anything that's uploaded onto the website, those community members will get did you say an e-blast?
Like an email, or however they
email
sign up. They
from
can
it.
sign up to get a notification via email or text message that
Okay,
we've uploaded the agenda to the website.
okay. Is there a step-by-step process on how to sign up?
We'll include that in the email.
Okay,
And you just pick what pages you want notifications on.
okay,
And then you have to put obviously your email and then how you want to be notified. And then you can sign up for multiple pages. And then if you get on and notice there's a page that doesn't have any notification on it, but you want any updates, like the historian, say you want updates if I did her page, you just let me know and I can create that really easy.
okay,
But that's a good feature that we have on this new website, so.
okay. All right, any questions of Heidi?
Oh, website though, actually, because you're here, Toby, so it just made me think of it. I did get that corrected actually at 4 p.m. They messaged me, so you should be, the search button should be good to go now. And I'm working on everything stuff for you. Sorry, he just asked me a question, I remember.
Okay,
So,
well, it's a new website.
yeah, our search wasn't working, it was not bringing up anything, so I emailed them and they sent me something right at 4 today that it should be up and running again. I checked it really quick, one thing, and it came up, so.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Heidi. Linda,
Well, my monthly report not only was late, but it was good.
can you speak up?
Okay, my monthly report was late because I was having some computer problems. And I was down in Watertown Friday. They were checking out the other computers. So today I was on with ABS. And they're still looking at it. This old laptop, the town's laptop. And the date of that laptop was 2/13. And then he told me today, 17. So that's being worked out. Hopefully, I'll be able to do my work at home again. And then I'm going to see the principal of the class at the high school. We're going back and trying to institute the SAIL program that John, no, you weren't there. You were working there. The
Yeah.
SAIL program.
Tony
Jacko did that.
Yes, he did. So I have the whole history and I'm going to meet with Bobby on Friday.
We had numerous students do that.
Yes, I had two, and they were wonderful. Then St. Lawrence has called me and I'm meeting with Brenda. There are 3 professors that want to maybe work with some of the high school students, and that's what we're gonna try to do. So both the new students at St. Lawrence will be working with the seniors at Canton High School, which will be a nice project. I'm sure. The SAIL program was really well received. And my monthly report was a mess. My font was wrong, everything. So that's why it's late. Sorry about that. John said he could read it.
Every year, fine.
Me too.
Any other questions?
No questions? All right, thank you, Linda.
Yeah, thanks.
Megan's not here.
Can we-
All right, Stephen, would you like to go?
Sure. We have completed most of our repairs from Storm Debbie. Took a lot of time to get caught back up, we're down pretty much now to do work to gravel roads, if we can get to them, just from washout, things like that, to get stone back to where they should be. Take a little bit of time there if we can. The Mead Road, that, we were a little over a week there. The culvert pipes were down 20 feet under the blacktop, so we were down deep there, so. And then water basically over our knees, trying to set the new pipe. So that's all back together, except for having to pave it back once it settles there. We still have to pave the cut and do all that. We did add a 48-inch pipe up a little bit higher as an overflow. Just hopefully that was a one and done. Nobody really wants to go back to that spot ever again.
That was pretty deep.
Yeah. So we did use our entire stockpile of crushed stone that we had at the yard for summer construction, like edging and stuff. Throughout the storm, plus we had trucks hauling in throughout it while we were doing repairs. We've got about a third of that back right now. Probably don't have enough really to do our edging, but maybe close. We'll have to see as it goes. The culvert pipes that we borrowed from New York State DOT are scheduled to be delivered back tomorrow. About 10:30, their Lane Enterprises is taking them right to the DOT yard, so we don't have to touch them. The trucks will take them right through. We made some more improvements out on Minor Street Road. Try to help with drainage and different things. And basically the whole month of August, between Minor Street and doing storm repairs, that was the month we only were able to get our patching truck out like a day and a half, and it's showing miserably right now that needs to go. But on to the next topic, we started paving last Friday, so we've been busy with that now. So Stiles Road is done, Boyden Road should be done by noon tomorrow. That leaves us Old Raquel, Old State to do. Probably will be into Friday before we get done. And County Highway is hoping to be done tomorrow night, so just how things roll, sometimes you can't get there, so we'll have to be part of Friday so they can get cut loose. to move on to their projects. But would like to thank them for doing what they are, because they did, 3 towns got turned away in the end, they weren't able to make it. So felt pretty fortunate that they're doing what they could for us. They're not going to have time for Minor Street to get to us. Truck 2, our oldest pickup truck has been in the shop. It went down on us during the storm. We just haven't had anybody, so we've been, if somebody sees our patching truck running around, it's not necessarily patching, we've been having to use it as our other pickup truck. Just to get by with it, but we just haven't had anyone in the shop. Basically, all we're doing is fixing tires and just services on trucks, and that's it right now, so we can get caught back up some. But, that's about it. For right now, pretty much paving and storm repairs has been our whole month lately.
Any questions of Stephen?
I've had a couple of people ask, so where the county can't do Minor Street. But,
They're out of time.
so where we got like bids in for,
That's on the agenda.
oh,
It's on the
okay,
agenda.
I talked a little bit about this with Stephen, is we most likely will be going over our budgeted overtime for this year. So, once we get closer to that, we might have to dip into the fund balance to get through to the remainder of the year. We budgeted 80 hours for each person, and with this storm, I think we're gonna be cutting it close.
For the last, even some before the storm, we've been doing 45 to 50 hour weeks, trying to stay caught up. And I told the guys last week, we may end up going more towards 60 hour weeks here for 2 or 3 weeks to just try and get ourselves back above water here. No pun intended, but.
Yeah, so we have to keep a close eye on that.
But all of the overtime, would be in that documentation that.
Yes, we submitted, the original, overtime and wages, for the 2 days of the event. But then we took the whole payroll of this past payroll, and that's all been submitted because that's all they've been working on,
Yeah.
so, and that includes the overtime, so, yeah. But we gotta keep a close eye on it so that we can, amend the budget if needed, and who knows what the winter's gonna bring, right? So, yeah,
Let you know in the
Yeah.
spring.
Fall,
okay, any other questions of Steven? We'll talk about that other issue that's on the agenda,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, great, all right, thanks, Steven. Lee?
Yeah, you mentioned your forward. The next meeting of the local planning committee is on September 17th, and they're continuing to review the projects that were submitted. As Marianne mentioned, there'll be an open house on September 26th, at 5:30 in the basement. Updates are all on the website, cantonandwhiteboard.com. New York Main Street grant continues. We have projects underway at several buildings, on Main Street now. We're also starting to order streetscape things, which include a bike shelter at the library, bike racks on meters on Main Street and in the municipal lots behind the north side of Main Street. And also the decorative arch is gonna be on Prentice Lane. I went and visited the forge last week and it's coming along, so that's exciting to see. So those things will all be continuing through the end of the year. Ben Bean Brewing, most of you probably heard that they were unable to salvage the building, so they had to demolish it. It's now down. Site work was to begin this week, and foundation work. They're hoping to have the building enclosed by the end of the year and open in May. So that's exciting too. Ultimately, they will be able to have a more efficient building too this way. So there are goods to that as well. You may have seen the building behind EJ Noble for the secondary water source, the treatment plant is up. So that project is moving along on target as well. the CDBG CARES grant, which was a COVID grant that the village got for assistance for small businesses and also, it's been mental health services for United Helpers. The state approached us and asked if we wanted to request additional funding and some more time to continue to expand the United Helpers portion. So that has been presented to them, that their board is gonna be looking at it tomorrow. We've asked for about $750,000 more in another year to continue to expand mental health services. Willow Island, the project was almost done when the flood hit. I'm sure everyone has seen the photos. The consultant has come up and done the final walkthrough since then and given us a report on the damage. There was a couple of things that we need to speak with the contractor about, and we made that, all in all, there was some washout of areas that hadn't had time to root yet. So things that had been recently excavated, and a portion of the trail was washed out. So we're working on how we will go about getting those repairs made, hopefully in the near future. You also probably know the Casino Group was selected by the village as the developer for the Midtown Plaza project. They have submitted a project to the New York Forward. So that is under consideration. A purchase and sales agreement, I believe, was signed today. So that is moving forward. We also today signed the contract for the new local waterfront revitalization grant, which will allow us to update our local waterfront revitalization plan, which is the planning document that allows us to pursue several projects and gives us opportunities to get grant funding for a lot of other things. So that will be a good exercise to go through that planning process. So we are getting the waterfront advisory committee back together and working on a request for that. Few new businesses, 11 West is open, the Thousand Islands Nurse Practitioners has a web page up, there's an article about them opening in paper, Palmer Realty, and the Sidekicks Cafe is nearly ready to open. A couple final minor issues, but other than that,
What building is the nurse practitioners in?
81 Main.
So which building is that? The Spark?
Where the Flying Lotus used to be.
I'm sorry?
The Flying Lotus used to be,
Oh,
or the bridal shop.
oh, in there, okay,
There's a, they have their
Okay.
logo and stuff up on the window,
okay, great,
and they have a website.
okay. How many projects have been submitted for the New York Forward? You
I
have
believe
a-
there were 14 maybe, but I think a couple of them have been pulled off the list. And there were a few that needed additional information that have been requested by the consultant. So, the original request too was for about 14 million, I think, 14 to 15 million. So I think maybe it's down to 12 now. And also there were a couple of municipal projects that were submitted that we've looked at since and pared down a bit. The consultant team had landscape architects working on those and kind of went really big with them. So there's some things that we have removed from those as well. So those paths are coming down, but the committee has to get it down to 15 million of recommended projects for the strategic investment. So after the open house, they will do a lot of work at this next meeting in September. The open house will be September 26th, and then they'll do a little more work in October and probably vote on which projects. Those that aren't recommended for funding as part of that 6 to 8 million will likely go into a pipeline, and those will all be listed in that plan as well. So in the future, there may be things that are a little further out or not quite ready yet, but there's still projects that in the future may be viable. So that will help kind of give them a little nod to and maybe help with future funding. So they've got their work cut out.
And the state makes the final determination.
Yes, they do.
But you guys recommend,
I am not part of the committee.
the committee recommends,
The committee, yes, makes recommendations for $6 to $8 million worth of projects, and then the state selects the 4.5 of those.
Okay.
And part of the reason for that is that they want to, in case it's typical for some of the projects to fall out for whatever reason or to change or not go through for whatever reason. So they want to have enough on the slate to be able to go to the next one, if something like that happens.
And is it a reimbursement program?
Yes,
So they have to spend up front
yes,
and then they get reimbursed.
yes.
Okay. Any questions?
Any idea when demolition's gonna start over here?
No, because we have to first do a NEPA environmental review.
Hmm.
So, part of the purchase and sale agreement is that the developers have a significant amount of due diligence that they need to do as well. So that they will be doing that now. Hopefully next spring. I don't know, don't quote me, but the NEPA review is extensive and it takes a bit of time to get through. And that's because there's federal funding involved, so it's a bit of a process.
It's not like the regular secret.
No,
This is a different.
that's more expensive than that. And each
So the
agency
village has to
their
pay
own-
for that or the developer will?
It depends. I don't know the answer to that. The
Okay.
funding, the federal funding, was not, typically it's the municipality that's the sponsor of the environmental stuff, but I don't know that that has been discussed. We haven't hired that out at this point.
Hmm.
We're
Interesting.
hoping that it might be able to be done without paying it out. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, baby steps.
Steps, as long as we keep taking steps. Yeah.
Any other questions of Lee? All right, thanks to you and Jenny for all your work. Why don't we go to Cindy online?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi,
Turn
how are
on-
you?
Can you turn on your camera, please?
Okay, we go. See my
Okay.
new background. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, how's everybody? Okay, so let's see. I have to say that I spoke to the state today, the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, and the checks are in the mail. The Star Credit checks, and I've spoken to a couple of property owners and they have received their checks as of today. So just be patient, it's coming. Next year, if you don't want to wait for your check to come in the mail, you can apply for direct deposit on the state website. That's what I could say about that. Data collection's going strong. This upcoming, at least by the end of this month, I hope to have Park Street and Riverside Drive done. It's gonna be half walking, half driving, so hopefully that'll go pretty smoothly. And otherwise, it looks pretty good. We have 990 parcels left to collect. And that's it. And the splits. I've been working on the splits. It's a lot of work. You have to look at everything that comes in and make sure you value what's being split off and what comes off the split. And then you have to do the paperwork that trails behind it and choosing property record cards and so forth. That's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions from the board? Nope. Thank you, Cindy.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, did you hear from Megan about coming tonight? John didn't.
I didn't.
Okay. Mike,
Hi, thank you, Mary Ann. Good evening, everyone. Month of August, similar to the last few months, issued 13 building permits for the town of Canton. Again, 3 new homes gonna be built in the town of Canton. We're up to 12 new homes for this year. There is one permit issued, not issued, but variance application was submitted for a doctor for a project on State Highway 310 that has to go to the county because of the new zoning. We don't allow medical facilities in that area. I did attend the quarterly or bi-monthly EDF constituents meeting at the Best Western in August. Discussions were the walking trails, community gardens, and areas of that around the fencing. They they signed up with SUNY Canton. SUNY Canton has taken the lead on an application through NYSERDA for agricultural solar and road crops testing plot at site. So basically SUNY Canton is going to take a portion of this project and test what's viable in that area or what grows better and everything. The next meeting, I got an email end of last week. The next meeting is October 22nd at the Best Western from 6:30 to 8:30. I also attended the Fair Housing Task Force meeting last month in August. Discussion was on the homeless and other things to be done in the county. One thing did come up that kind of caught everyone by surprise. New York State started what they consider a good cause eviction law. Basically, you have to either opt in or opt out. Right now, the only city is New York City and Albany that has a good cause eviction law. I'll forward the information to Eric, or you might already know that
Send me the info, I'd like to see that.
it's why the municipality has to get involved in evictions and stuff. It's just, and the last thing, Mary Ann touched on it briefly, Storm Debbie. The county just put on last week a tab on their website for storm relief, self-reporting for home and businesses on their website. So I printed that off. I'll get Heidi to put it on our website. The income level substantially changed because the first time it came out was like 58,000-ish. Now it's up to 157,800. You got to go to New York State Home and Community Renewal site, which is tabbed on that. Send in all your documents, pictures and everything, and there's guidelines on that. So you're correct in your standpoint, there's not a lot of people, but Jason just got the okay to put it on the county website from Ruth Doyle, so it's not.
Is this the loan program? that
Yeah, the
now
loan
they're-
program.
So this is a new,
Yeah,
this is a new framework
Yep, new
for
framework.
people. So instead of getting, being able to apply for the 50,000 grant,
Yep,
which was touted, and there was a meeting at SUNY Potsdam and
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah.
that's no longer eligible. This is a new program where you can apply for a loan.
Correct.
And the income has been increased, but
157,800, so basically tripled in the income.
what's the interest level on the loan?
Yeah. I didn't go any farther. So.
So, okay, well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Any questions of Mike? All right, thank you, Mike. We all received the dog control report, and then the county chamber also submitted a report. That's on the website. Recreation, you all have Megan's report. It's my understanding as far as the damages to the parks, the village is going to be, or they may have already submitted all the damages regarding the parks. So, well, the town outside for us, so. Okay, so I need a motion to accept department reports.
So moved.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. All right, committee reports.
Highway met yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and what we discussed is on the agenda for this evening. I spoke briefly with Google Cannon this morning to see if there was anything, any updates from him. And he said, not at this time. So. So I've got.
So that's solar.
Yeah, so that's all I've got on solar.
Okay. Anybody else?
Complete streets map Monday. One of the major topics obviously was the minor street. They, understand that it is what it is. They want to, and I think I agree with them, they want to go forward and talk about other things we can do safety wise for pedestrians and bikers. We've already put in the request to reduce the speed limit to Jingleville Road. And that involves, possible painting but to make it as safe for non-motorized vehicles as possible. Maybe this is a good time, I'll say this. I want to make a statement in general about minor
This is
street.
committee report.
Oh, committee,
Do you
you're
wanna
never,
do
no,
it
I'll do it
for-
later, I'll do it later then.
Okay,
Okay, there's more in there, these streets, we took care of that. But the thing is, yeah, so, the big thing that we talked about for a long time, was to try to do as much as we can do as a town. Given the parameters that we now have. To make it as safe as possible. To go there and back. Painting, these are just suggestions, nothing, possible lighting, and just look at all kinds of avenues that are there. And I told them we'd already made the request for the speed limit reduction, going all the way to Jingleville Road.
we haven't heard anything on that.
No,
All right,
We haven't
other-
heard back on State Street yet,
yeah, that was,
that was almost a year ago.
so don't hold your breath.
All right, well, the Sustainability Committee met on September 3rd, and general discussion is where do they go from here as far as educating more people about how to adapt to climate change. And that's a big discussion. They inquired about where we're at with negotiations of EDF, and my response was there's nothing to report. But that's pretty much it for sustainability. Any recreation or economic development reports?
We didn't meet, Rec didn't meet.
Rick didn't meet, economic development?
we gave pretty much the report.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much what we wanted
Yeah.
for this morning,
Yeah.
pretty much covered everything.
okay.
Nope, wait,
Just that, I think we're talking about some things that we may want to request that a consortium meeting happen this fall.
I didn't hear you.
We may want to request that a consortium meeting happen this fall. I think it's been a while.
Well, this year was the mayor's turn to facilitate, and then it's my turn next year. So,
Does it only happen once a year?
get this. Yeah, the mayor about that.
Okay.
But, yeah, I agree. The consortium should be meeting. Yep, okay. So if you get to him first, or I can, or if you wanna send something to him about it. That would be helpful.
It will be addressed.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other committee reports? All right, old business. We need to schedule our first working session of the 2025 budget. The original calendar, we put down September 25th. But I don't think you could make the 25th. Heidi can do both the 25th and 26th. So that's why I contacted everybody. The 26th at 4 PM. Is the recommendation, because the clerks have a commitment at 6, right? Yeah. So,
Could we do 3?
Can we do 3 o'clock?
Cause
I
there
can do
was,
3.
Be a
Hmm?
stretch,
I
but
can
yeah,
do
if
it.
because there was,
Yeah, I can just light up 5 minutes earlier.
Works better for me.
you wouldn't be able to, Wayne,
Well, I can make it happen.
cause there was another issue, and so. Starting out earlier, better chance of being done,
I don't get done by 3, but I'm only working a couple minutes away, so,
or 3:30, I mean.
yeah,
you're
no, I
back.
mean, I can,
So we don't,
If I know it's- if I know it's
crowd
coming.
ID.
I should be back, man. I'm gonna be in Burlington, but I should be back by then.
By which time?
Or I hope I'm back by 3. We're leaving, you think about it. No, I'll be back by 3.
So
Just
3,
say, just
3
saying,
o'clock on the 26th,
it's,
so that'll be a working budget meeting. So here's the challenge. Because of other critical issues that I've had to deal with, we're a little bit behind. I hope to have binders to you by next week. Prior to the working, meeting. So good luck to me, okay? Yeah. And it's gonna be a challenging budget.
I'm sure.
It's gonna be a challenging budget because of, the storm and the costs increasing and, departments requests, we'll do the best we can. But we do need to pass a local law to override the tax cap in case we need to do that. So,
I knew sooner or later there'd be a challenge in one. They've all been a piece of cake up till now.
yeah, right. Yeah, at least for the last 6 years, so they've all been great. Okay, so,
Marion, you want me to send the tax cap local law?
yeah, if you could send it to, yeah. When we do this every year, it doesn't mean that we're gonna,
Mhm.
we pass it in case we need it.
Yes.
But Eric, can you remind me, so if we don't use it, we don't have to rescind it?
Correct.
So that's one step, so that we used to
Don't
have to
do that.
rescind it, but now we don't, so that's good. Okay, so the 27th at, what did we say?
No.
26, right?
Thursday.
You've already got her.
Oh, I was right down Friday. All right, the 26th
not on
at
Friday.
3?
Yeah.
3 PM? Okay, I did write it here, okay. All right, so hopefully, and it's considered a tentative budget. And then we do a preliminary budget after any changes. There's gonna be some tough decisions that have to be made.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate. Okay, the next item is discuss and approve additional expenditures for road construction. So again, we need to make some decisions tonight because of the situation,
Mhm.
with the county not being able to fulfill all of our needs. Is that a polite way to put it? Because of the storm and, so I'm gonna ask Stephen to speak to what do we need?
So basically, we need to go out to bid and get pricing on, well, not pricing, bids on paving minor street roads. So we'll have to set a set of specs up of widths, thicknesses, what needs to be where, and get the bids back in timely fashion to keep expediting this along to make it happen.
Do we need a minimum number of bids?
I
Or
can't hear you.
do
Wayne.
we need a minimum number of bids? Or is there?
No.
No,
As
just
long
a-
as we go out to
As
bid,
long as we go off the bid.
as long as we go out to bid. Okay,
So if there's only two, there's only two.
okay.
So if we get the legal notice done and out by Friday.
Yep.
And then we could possibly, hopefully we'll get the bids and then we could take action on the 26th.
Yes,
Do we have to leave
Is
the,
that time?
do we have to leave like the
I think it's 5 days.
proposal for bids out for a certain amount of time, or is it just
I think it's 5 days.
5 days?
5
I'll
days.
confirm it, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's 5 days.
So,
So Stephen, if you could write up the specs and Heidi and you will come up with a legal notice for that and get that posted as soon as we can. And it'll be due back, if we're meeting on the 26th, we can have them due back by the 25th at noon. That should give us enough time.
Well, just remember, when you submit these on the date that it's available to go in the paper isn't gonna be the next day. Typically,
I
like
don't-
the day that I go online and put the ad in, it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily go in the next day.
In the papers.
Right, you have
Oh.
to, like, the quicker you can get it to me, so I can get that
Yeah,
in there,
get that in.
the better.
Okay, okay.
Is it gonna include a deadline?
26.
Of when we want it done?
Yeah.
Good.
You mean the paving done?
Well, I
Yeah,
don't-
because, I mean, how long after an accepted bid do they come and pay?
16th or
We
something.
could put in a time frame.
Okay.
Well, we gotta be
Like each
careful
day
on
that
that.
you wait.
I'm just curious, I would just wanna know what the delay would be, I don't necessarily.
It's end of season.
If I
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
Everybody's scrambling to get stuff.
Yeah, we don't know. how long we're
So-
gonna- Yeah, we don't wanna box ourselves out of doing it.
Depends how long the batch.
That's the only trouble that you
Yeah,
make it
it's the
into.
19th or 20th.
Well, I was wondering, I don't want it to go to the spring, is what I want.
No.
Understood, but if you put a time frame on it of, say, we want it done by October 5th, you know, they say, well, we can get there on the 10th.
Oh, no,
So-
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
I just wanna know what, if there's, what the delay is gonna be from an accepted bid, what could the potential delay be? And if it's gonna run over, we got an early snow and can't pave anymore. I don't want that to happen.
Eric, should we put in a?
I don't necessarily say we
timeline?
need a deadline, I'm just,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fairly typical that you're gonna have a deadline in the bid spec.
Okay.
So,
Project completed no later than,
Mm.
October 20th, is that too late?
It has snowed on Halloween in the past.
Snow for that. Well,
20's a Sunday.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Just
thrown out a day.
Do you, when did Barrett's close last year?
Last year, everybody buttoned up early. Some of them used to stay open until Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
but I
Thanksgiving
wanna
used to be
say
the-
We did a little bit on Jingleville Road, and we were right at the end of October. Like,
Okay.
like the last week of October, and that was pretty much it right there. But
We had a
like-
couple first nights.
Hmm.
We had a couple first nights at the end of October last year.
So what's the 18th on a Friday?
Mhm.
Which one?
Yep, 18th is a Friday,
Use that for the date?
sure. And you're talking a week and a half to put shoulders on, so that puts us to the front. Front part
Yeah.
of November, first part, whatever. To complete getting edging on at that point.
Take out a load of edging and go get a load of sand.
It'd be tough to get grass to grow at that point.
Um,
For the first of November, probably won't be.
but hopefully they'll be able, hopefully they'll be able to do it before then, but.
Okay, so Steven's gonna get the specs to Heidi and we'll format that legal notice and get that out as soon as possible. All right, Randy, did you wanna say something about all of this?
I did, I just, a general statement about Minor Street, how it's gone down and, we have all come in at the end of it. After it's all, except for you. And, but a lot of us, and, as I've gone through the research of it, seems to me that one of the things where we've had such issues, there's no one person been in charge from the beginning of the project until the end, no clerk, it's Wayne,
Yeah.
no clerk of the works. Where they can explain to us on turnover, what's going on, problems with, I'm not throwing anyone, don't intend to throw anyone under the bus, it's just going forward.
Hmm.
I think something like that's gotta be named in the grant, or somebody's gotta be named in the grant when we do this forward. So we can avoid some of the issues that I think we've gone through, where the engineer said this, and then the construction people said this, and I'm not blank, I don't put any, but I know Steven came in at the end and trying to make a bad situation better. We all try to do that. And I think part of it is as I looked through and I researched things, and there's no one person that was consistent that knew what there is to do about roads. I know on Willow Island, they have a consultant that goes through and talks about, oh, this needs to be done, this happened, and this needs to be done. And I think we should be careful about doing that in grants going forward, that person like that would be named. Cause I don't know about roads, I gotta check, and if there's somebody more knowledgeable than me, was there from the beginning until the end, named, I think we could have avoided a lot of the problems
Mhm.
from the beginning to the end. That's just a statement I wanted to make. I think it's looking forward. I'd like to not have the hassles going forward on future projects that we've had on this one.
I think it's real important when grants are written that the full board be involved as far as making sure all of that is in order, because again, turnover of board members and, things change and that's why it's so important. And I've been adamant about, okay, let's go for this grant, but everybody needs to read it and we need to discuss it before it's submitted. But I trusted the process of committee. And I did read that a long time ago. That was my second year here and, yeah, so.
And I'm not saying that to throw anyone under the bus or do anything like that. I don't intend that. This is simply going forward. I think it's important that we have some kind of a consistent oversight as we go from one stage to the other.
More staff would be nice, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
I do wanna thank Eric for all his work and Lee as well, neglected who have done that before, but, so thank you, Eric and Lee. And everybody involved. This wasn't an easy, and it's still not easy to go through this. Anybody else wanna say anything about this?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so, new business. We do have a person that's interested in serving on the zoning board of appeals. His name is David Kurt Terrell, Terrell. He goes by Kurt. And, he's interested in serving on the zoning board of appeals. We're still gonna need another person because we have a current person, his term is gonna be up, so, we still need to fill that position.
He doesn't
We-
wanna come back?
Dan, his term's up. He's served, Dan, Suye. He's served 2 terms.
Okay.
So, and we also need members for the Board of Assessment Review.
There's term limit?
Hmm?
There's term limits? Or
It's
he
a
just-
5-year appointment.
Yeah, they said, like John said, he doesn't want.
He doesn't wanna be reappointed.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what I was wondering. I thought the way we were talking, he served.
Oh, well, he's
term
the-
limits I didn't know about. Right?
Well,
Bring it on.
maybe there should be. Well, okay.
Yeah, we have such an easy time getting people. We should just 2 years, let's get someone. really.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No.
Okay, so I'm making a motion that we appoint, Kurt Terrell, to the zoning board of appeals for a 5-year, appointment. For a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried. Okay, we need to set a public hearing for, override of the tax cap. You wanna just do it at the next monthly meeting
Yeah, appropriate.
at 5:45? That's what we've done in the past. Just tag it on,
5:55.
5:55?
There's lots of time.
57.
5:57, yeah.
5:57?
That's it, 5:55.
5:55?
Yep.
All right,
Next.
public hearing, okay, and Eric, you're gonna get a draft law to Heidi and,
I will.
okay, and we'll get that, legally posted. All right. With that being said, public comment is the next item. This is the time for the board to listen. If you have a public comment, please, state your name and where you live and keep it to the 3 minutes so everybody has an opportunity. So is there any public comment? Margaret,
Margaret Mount.
can you stand up, Margaret?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I want to thank the board for actually having the public comment time. And I appreciate you listening to the things that we bring forward when we have a concern in the community. I am wondering though, at what point or what is the venue for receiving a response? When concerns are raised. I don't
hear
Which
from.
public comment are you?
Well, today's, I mean, what you read today, there
Mhm.
were issues in that are of concern. And it would be nice to hear from somebody
Mhm.
concerning that. And in the past, we have sat down, we've had meetings, and that's all appreciated. There are some things still out there that haven't been responded to. I don't know if it's because you can't, or how long we wait.
Are you talking in particular the No Dogs Left Behind?
I am,
Okay,
because that's been the concern for us right now. And issues continue to be of concern.
Hmm.
And it comes down to the new code. And there seems to be maybe a confusion, or I'm seeing a confusion with what the code has, what they are, what they aren't, and the consequences of that, just in terms of the licensing. Do the dogs get licensed? Do they not get licensed? You've got a state agency saying they're a rescue. You've got the town. They haven't applied to be a shelter, rescue shelter. They haven't applied. They've said they wanted to be a kennel, but with kennel comes licensing of rescue dogs. So, I don't know. I thought it was clear. And Dan did say that Mr. Berry has come in and registered 30+ dogs recently. So that, great. You know, that's what should be going on down there, but I just, it worries me because we see things happening and then there's no response to it and it just stalls. And then maybe something happens or maybe something doesn't happen, but it looks like it needs to happen. I don't know what I'm talking about.
so I think we understand what you're saying.
Okay. So I appreciate the comment time. I also would like to say, I wouldn't mind having a public comment time at the beginning of a meeting. I know it's not a discussion time. I know it's not a response time. And if somebody wanted to give a comment at the beginning, it's not taking a lot of time from your meeting to do that. And it's open. It is a gesture of open government, to have that available, and you did have that available. I guess I don't understand why it's not there. So there's another vote for it.
Okay, is that
I
it?
guess, probably.
All right. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
Margaret. Any other public comments? All right, with that being said, I'm making a motion to go into executive session for litigation and employment history of a particular person. For a second.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, carried. Okay, and it is 7:10.